You guys know how I feel about Brad Holmes, that my patience is running thin. And I've spotted off two reasons in particular as to why I think that he should be fired if these things were to happen. One is re-signing Marcus Davenport. Under no circumstances should that man be allowed back into the building of Allen Park. And the second thing is is something that kind of came up late in the season. We saw Brad Holmes' season-ending press conference and him talking about maybe finding a new home for David Montgomery. That would be the second thing that, to me, I would demand an instant termination of Brad Holmes. It's not going to happen, but that's my feeling, and I'm going to stand on it. At that point, if you trade away David Montgomery, then I know you have no idea what you're doing. It doesn't make any sense. But I wanted to talk about this, and this is coming from Detroit Lions on SI, our friends over there, as to some believe that David Montgomery, that the Lions could potentially be not necessarily shopping him. I mean, but Brad Holmes has already stated that if it's not in Detroit, it can be somewhere else. They would love to keep him, but so he's not closed to trading David Montgomery. Now, of course, this was said before the Detroit Lions hired Drew Petzing, their new offensive coordinator, and David Montgomery has come out, seems to be happier now. It looks like that he's going to stick around. But if the trade value was too enticing, would the Detroit Lions be willing to trade with David Montgomery? I'm going to tell you right now, that to me is a fireable offense, period. Because why would you get rid of someone that then you need to replace when you have so much other stuff to worry about? You have so much other stuff to worry about. David Montgomery has shown his value time and time again. When Jahmyr Gibbs was not getting any yards, David Montgomery was. It's not his fault that he wasn't on the field, right? So this would be dumb to me. It would be idiotic, in my opinion, to trade David Montgomery for anything less than something that you can't, an offer you can't refuse. I'm talking about a player you could use this year and several, like multiple picks, bro. Because we have an O-line we need to take care of. We don't know what's happening with our tight end, our safety room. I mean, it is so, we're going to lose a linebacker. There's no doubt we're going to have to stack that room again. We have a defensive line to worry about. We have much more to worry about than David Montgomery and a running back. He's on the team. You signed him. You extended him. Why cut him? So to me, I'm done. If Brad Holmes does this, I am done with him. I want to see him gone immediately. But that's just me, all right? Because after Broderick Martin, Trinity Benson, not addressing the pass rush, not properly addressing the offensive line, I mean, Bob Quinn has done a better job than you have. That's Bob Quinn has done a better job than Brad Holmes on the offensive line. Go check the tape. He has. Brad put a couple pieces. The two anchors that were here before, Taylor Decker and Frank Ragnow, those were provided by Bob Quinn. And look what happened the second that Ragnow retired. And Taylor Decker's on the end of he's on the home stretch of his career. We don't even know if this man is coming back. But if Brad Holmes does that, I want him gone immediately. That's it. I'm not going to change my stance on that. All right. But here's what our friends at coming from their site, Detroit Lions on SI. Here's what some people had to say about what could happen at the combine for David Montgomery. Says, with his experience and ability to break tackles, several teams could be interested in trading for his services. Detroit will learn much more about Montgomery's trade value in the next couple of weeks, one executive said. This is now Jahmyr Gibbs' team, and that offense is not going to limit his carries. I expect Brad Holmes to have many conversations in Indianapolis about trading David Montgomery. Now, if you guys are not familiar with this situation, a lot of times there are behind-the-scenes conversations at the NFL Combine about things that could potentially happen at the start of free agency or even before that. Rich Eisen that's where he gets a lot of his tea, and a lot of people have discussions about moves that could be made when it comes to certain NFL teams, particularly trades coming up for the next couple of years or the year. And like I said before, to me, there's absolutely no reason without a colossal deal. And the reason that I say colossal is because you're going to have to replace that guy. Or are you? Because this next individual that we're going to mention, there's no way that we are going to have to roll with this guy. There's no way. I have no filter, no chill. This guy has shown nothing in his time in the NFL as a running back, and you guys know who I'm about to mention. Another executive shared that running back Sione Vaki is a player who could be in line for an expanded role in Detroit's offense. A source with knowledge of the Lions' plans indicate that the team is still very high on Vaki, given his injury history. The team is hoping his offseason regimen nets added strength and durability to be able to slide into the backup role. Listen, this reason is why exactly I would want Brad Holmes fired. I'm going to read this again. A source with knowledge of the Lions' plans indicates that A, the team is still very high on Vaki. B, given his injury history, the team is hoping his off-season regimen nets added strength. This right here. How many times are we going to do this? How many times are we going to hope? You're going to hope and durability to be able to slide into the backup role. Why would we need anybody to slide into anything if we already have that individual who A, is healthy, B, is durable, C, will run you over? It doesn't make sense to me. You have the resources that you used on the Isaac Tesla trade, so you limited your resources for the 2026 draft. So keep this in mind. How would you feel if the Detroit Lions if you traded David Montgomery, then you have to replace him, whether it's with someone on the team or someone who's not. If you replace him and that individual doesn't do equal or greater than David Montgomery would do in this offense, that's a problem. I love Jahmyr Gibbs just as much as you do, but we saw the limitations. We did see them. Now, you can put that on the offensive line. I believe that had something to do with it. But for everything Jahmyr Gibbs he is not a truck stick. He is the juke stick. That's what he is. Now, he can take a hit, he can give a hit, but he is not a bulldozer, right? Jahmyr Gibbs is about speed and elusiveness. David Montgomery is about power and strength. That's what Monty is. It would be idiotic, in my opinion, for anything less than a haul to trade away David Montgomery, because then you have to use resources to replace him. Sione Vaki is not an answer. And if Brad Holmes said to me, or is telling me that he believes in Sione Vaki more than David Montgomery, right? That's a problem to me, because you've already believed in Emmanuel Mosley. You've already believed in Marcus Davenport. No, absolutely not. This makes no sense to me. You want to get him involved. You want him to be happy. He was perfectly fine under Ben Johnson. He was perfectly fine. And and you know what? I don't think that it was predominantly, okay, well, David Montgomery wants to be used more. It was, you need to use me, but you're not. You see that even when Jahmyr Gibbs is getting stuffed, the Lions are getting no yards. David Montgomery would come into the game and take that same run and get positive yards. Jahmyr was getting dropped behind the line. David Montgomery, 8 out of 10 times, was taking a couple guys with him. We just were not using him. So it's not necessarily, in my belief, that, I want to be used more. It's you could be using me more. Like, it's not like Jahmyr Gibbs is shaking people every single time and he just got he not putting up Bijan numbers. He's not doing that. I understand why Bijan Robinson went the earlier running back taken now. Watching enough Atlanta Falcons games, I see that. Even with the offensive line we had last year, Jahmyr Gibbs is great, but now I see why there is a difference between Bijan and Jahmyr Gibbs. So this would be really dumb to me. I'm very interested to know, and I'm telling you right now, man, I do not care if Brad Holmes was to sign Marcus Davenport and or trade David Montgomery. I would be calling for his job from that moment on. That moment on. I have no authority. I have no power. And the only thing that would get me off him is a Super Bowl win, period. period. It's not the trading of David Montgomery. It's not that one aspect. It is a culmination of thing after decision that has negatively impacted this team. It is those decisions, to me, that are caught up with this team. And you can add Dan Campbell in the mix if you want to. So for me, it's not just the signing of Marcus Davenport. It would be the third signing of Marcus Davenport. It is not just the trade or cut of David Montgomery. It is the fact that you have to replace him. And when Jahmyr Gibbs goes out, Jacob Sailors is not an upgrade over David Montgomery. There's no running back on our roster. You have a running back that at least half the teams in the NFL would covet, if not more, and you are going to release him or trade him to regress? So that is why. Because at this point, after the signing of Marcus Davenport and the things that he's done, the Broderick Martins, those I will not forget. The Trinity Bensons, I will not forget that stuff. The cutting of Zadarius Smith, that's another thing too, is that you have a person under contract. This will be the second time that he's done that. You have a person and a player who is solid at worst, that plays a position of need, and you give that person up for what? For what? You didn't even trade Zadarius. You just cut him. So you didn't even get any value for cutting him. I mean, outside of the money that you saved. But we also needed a position. Now, it just so happens he retired. Al-Qadim Muhammad had a career year. And guess what? He has now outpriced himself from Detroit. So, again, this is not a party pooper channel. This is not a doom and gloom channel. It was never that. It is not going to be that. It is going to be a reality channel. And it's going to be an opinion-based channel and an emotion-based channel. In my opinion, after years of this, if he trades David Montgomery and does not get something of equal or greater value, I will want him fired. That's it. I will want him fired immediately. And again, I've explained it many times. It's not just that. It is, you don't know what you're doing. Turns out you don't know. See, I'm going way back into the archives. I'm going back because you can pinpoint the exact moment that Brad Holmes started to fall. And it was Broderick Martin or Hendon Hooker in the 2023 NFL draft. But it was also coupled by a miserable offseason, in my opinion. Okay, you signed C.J. Gardner-Johnson. You did a couple things. But that's when you start looking and you're like, man, that's like when you see a crack, you see a crack somewhere. You see that crack is forming, but you want to put it, I'm just seeing things. That crack is not really there. That's when the crack to me started to form of Brad Holmes and his persona, that he actually knows what he's doing. Because if you think about it, you take away the Matthew Stafford picks. What is this team? What is this team? You take away Jacksonville being dumb and taking Trayvon Walker. What is this team? Who is our pass rusher? Who is our elite? We don't even have one. I mean, that is a terrifying thought to think if we did not get gifted Aiden Hutchinson. The man that Brad Holmes has relied on for 4 years and is going to wear out. He's going to wear him out. That's it. So, again, I have been holding this in to this capacity for a long time. And after the shenanigans on Twitter, the people on YouTube, the creators on YouTube that just don't want to tell you the truth, I am unfiltered, I'm uncut, I'm raw, I am authentic. I am leaving nothing on the table. If I'm wrong, great. If I'm right, great. But one thing I am going to tell you is the absolute truth in my opinion. And if we do this without someone of equal or greater value than David Montgomery, not a Sione Vaki, not a Jacob Sailors, not a draft pick somewhere, because we need all the resources we can get. We have a guy on the team, not Rod Peter to pay Paul. No. So you're going to trade away a great player for some potential. No, you have it. Why burn it? I mean, what was the point of trading Tim Patrick? We'll see. Because I think that draft pick is going to be utilized this season, in the offseason, at the NFL draft. That's where I'm at. Nobody's going to change me. You didn't get me off the edge rusher, heel, ledge. You're not getting me off this one. Brad is right here, man. Like, I'm on the cusp of done. I'm on the cusp, bro, of the shenanigans and the nonsense. It's all caught up with you. You have one job. That is a Super Bowl appearance. Bare minimum. Nothing else matters to me. You can say all you want. That's why I told y'all, when Brad Holmes, by May 1st, we'll know exactly if Brad Holmes is the guy. 100%. We'll know. If he might put together a team that these players might play and they might make it far. But if that does not end in a Super Bowl appearance, then he is not the guy. Anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below. This channel is made possible by viewers, subscribers, and members just like you. It's because of your support I get to do what I do. You could be anywhere else on YouTube, and you deserve a greater class of content creator, and I'm here to give it to you. It's been a long time. Got an update I wanted to put last video, so if you guys are still here, thank you. I appreciate you. I finally got my system to work where I can bring in guests in video form, and they do not hear an echo of themselves on playback when they're listening and on the show. That means that more content is coming your way. I will be adding and inviting fellow content creators that I do value, appreciate, and I get along with. I will be bringing them on to the show, and occasionally we may or may not bring on some viewers as well. Phone systems will be up and running during the off season, and we will be full steam ahead for this NFL season. All right. So I am trying. I told you, man, you deserve a better class of content creator, and I'm here to give it to you. All right. You guys are awesome. Take care of yourself and each other. And as always, go Lions. This is the new me. So it's not necessarily the new me. It's always been me. This is the 46-year-old. I have had enough of the shenanigans me. It is time, bro. It's time for somebody to cut through all the red tape, kick the door down, and tell you how it really is. That's it. There's no reason for us to trade David Montgomery at all. Build around. Look, the defense is the problem, not the offense. But if you take David Montgomery away, the offense will suffer. I assure you of that. All you have to do is cue in for Jahmyr Gibbs' speed. That's it. You don't have to accommodate for his power, because David Montgomery is the guy that puts fear of getting run over. Okay? Either way it goes, you're going to wind up on a highlight reel. You're either going to be destroyed like Devon Witherspoon and get up and run like you had a concussion to make a tackle and try to save your manhood, or you're going to get juked out of your shoes by Jahmyr Gibbs. You have a tandem, a winning tandem. Use it. Now you see why I ain't been making videos in a minute.